turn your Pornhub off.
Jeremy, that was live, sir. Still have 2 seconds. 1 and live.
This mine. This.
Brian Spencer.
This mine. This fear more.
I love my country. I love my guns. I set my money. I'm American.
Uh-oh, we already had a malfunction. Ranger Rick's mic went down. Someone's already going down on the casting couch. Hey, Kevin, that's not very professional. Welcome, everyone, to the 21 Gun Podcast. I'm your host. I'm your cowboy hat wearing host because I am a wicked cool cowboy from up in the Boston area. I was brought up like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 miles away from Fenway Park. I know what I'm talking about. We all wear cowboy hats. We carry cowboy guns up there. Thank you, Jeremy. That was actually pretty good. This is the official podcast of your favorite Silkies wearing Irreverent Warriors, the Irreverent Warriors. I'm your host, as always, Kevin Sullivan. We have a packed studio tonight. Lots of people here and lots of people out there in the viewership world. So for that, I thank you from down deep inside my heart. Across the room, we have Jeremy Boom Boom Walton, tiddly tattly clickety clackety on the computers and the interwebs over there. I don't think I told Rick this, but this couch is actually nicknamed the NDSM Couch of Military Honor, the National Defense Service Medal, earned, never given, and it's always, it's just something to have someone. Always given. Do you know what? I'm going to make that a rule. If you don't have one, you can't sit on the couch unless you're a civilian. Unless you're a civilian, because I mean, come on, it's only for heroes.
Dang, Frank takes a big old swig. He's like, shit.
Do you think it would be awkward, or do you think people would get the joke if I had like an NDSM T-shirt? It was like earned, and it had the. You don't think
that'll be a new 21 gun shirt? You know
Holy
what?
Shit, I don't know. It might be copywritten. I don't know if you can just put
NDSM.
Medals. I don't know. Oh yeah, you could do that. I don't know if you can put medals and stuff. In fact, I tried to make a shirt with the pizza box. It was going to be Pizza Box Warrior or something like that, and they pulled it.
If you distort it and kind of change the logo a little bit, you can do that.
Do you know what happened? It wasn't the pizza box. It was I had Marine Corps marksman, and then same thing, like earned, never given, and it was the Marine Corps. That's where they got me.
You can't do.
Yeah, so we might be okay with that. Anyways, I don't know if I said we have Philosophical Frank picking up the third mic, and we have our in-guest studio, none other than Ranger Rick.
What up?
There we go.
Yeah, nice.
We're trying to figure out how. So we usually don't have the guest in the studio, and they're usually like in the green room, just laughing and being like, "What the hell's going on? What did I get myself into?" But what I'm going to do, we're going to do an interview. We're going to find out like who you are and all that stuff, kind of towards the end. But as we go through our shit, if you have something to say, by all means, pipe in. It'll be
say it.
I want more people. I want this more often. I enjoy this. I have the AC cranked up because it can get pretty hot. Get a bunch of dudes like us in the room.
Welcome, Marissa.
Room.
Good to see you.
Get a bunch.
He likes men in his spare room.
Anyways, I met Rick. He may not remember. I'll tell you why. I met him at an event. We'll just call it an event. I met Rick at an event. Now people are like getting all weird. Like, what kind of event was it?
We know.
Were there couches and oil involved? Maybe. However,
could have been.
It was an event. It was in Fayetteville at the airport last year. There was lots of people with guns around. I even saw snipers and a really cool helicopter. And there were famous politicians in our midst. That's all I'll say. Anyways, that's all I'll say so we don't get kicked off of Facebook. Anyways, he was decked out in an American flag suit. I'll call it. I don't know if it was an official suit. It had no arms or whatever.
That picture.
I do. Yeah, we're going to actually bring that up. Jeremy, do you have that to bring up, or I can do it? I can do it right here. So I see this dude walking around. Oh, it's not going to let me.
Oh, darn.
No, it should.
No, really? All right.
Wait, can you not share pictures? Because that would be you can't share pictures. Oh, you can just share your screen, right?
Yeah, sure can.
So you're going to pull up that picture?
Okay, I'm going to look for it real quick.
I'm going to look for it, says the producer of the show.
Okay,
Anyways.
Well, you didn't say, hey, bro, let's have that photo ready to go.
Yeah, just do a share screen. And then I'll... Anyways, so I see
this... I'll bring it up.
I see this dude dressed like this, and I'm like, I need to hang out with that guy. We were with a lot of really cool people. That was a fantastic event. I had Tony, I can't remember his last name. I believe you know Tony. He's an underwater diver. Awesome dude. Yep. Got like 27 kids. A true Mexican Catholic.
True Mexican Catholic. You said it right.
Awesome guy. Also, Nick Cervantes was hanging out with us. There were some other guys. guy, I can't remember, but we had a good time and lots of good people, a lot of patriotic people. It was a good time to have that. So no one wanted to pick with me because I was just wearing like a suit or something. But next time I go to one of these things, I'm going to deck myself out, as you'll see if Jeremy can bring out. I sent it to you in a message.
The photo you didn't.
Yeah. Here, do you know what? Watch this, guys. Watch. I'm going to show you how to produce a show.
Or you could actually give me the.
I'm going to go
stuff
share
you
screen.
want. Yeah, I'm scrolling back to October 2020.
No, this was
September.
Should I do entire screen?
Yeah, there's nothing
I'll
there.
do entire screen. Now I'm going to share my screen, so it's going to get a little wonky. Okay, here we go. This is riveting radio for everyone.
Ooh.
This is how it goes. Okay, so here's my screen. Imagine you see the
screen
Brazzers.
Oh
tab.
no! He said it right. He said Brazzers. He didn't say Brazers.
You guys taught me how to do that. All right, so now I'm going to put up Facebook. Is something up here? Like, are you guys going to see stuff that you shouldn't see? And then
It's entirely
hey, look at this.
points to whatever you've been
It's going to
searching.
pull up your history.
All right.
That's
Do you
what
know what's
I've been
funny?
searching.
What if I'm pulling up these messages and it's like, oh, this freaking idiot's coming in today, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, because I'm on his photos, but you know.
Yeah, now I'm upset. I don't see the photo. This happens every week. We try to find something. Oh, do you know what? It was on this one. Or did I send it to you directly?
Oh, maybe. Oh, on my phone, which is up there, which I can't use.
Here, I'll do it. Watch. We'll do. Guys, I promise we have a good show for you.
So
I
the
promise.
very few times that we actually have things ready to
This
go.
picture.
The one time he doesn't ask me to do something, Jeremy, it's your fault. Which it probably is.
Dude,
my
what's
fault. I
funny is
probably
I'm
should've known ahead of time.
scrolling through these messages and it's just all F-bombs. Oh, I do have one other way to do it. Watch
Everybody's
this.
like, this picture's better be epic.
Here we go.
This better be the
Right,
best
we're
picture
fucking
ever.
waiting for
Here it is.
So you had it. I didn't fucking have it.
Do you guys see that? That's Tony. That's Tony and Nick,
Yeah.
left and right. Which is funny. Rick, do you remember this part?
Oh, yeah.
We're at this event. We got Nick, I believe, is Mexican. We got Tony, we just said is Mexican. And you're from Belize. And then there's me. And somebody comes running through the audience and they're like, racist. And it was really white people. And I'm like, how is that even possible? But they have a way of doing
Everything
that.
is possible.
All right, how do I stop sharing? Stop sharing.
I got you.
There we go. Jeremy, I got to stop doing the producing part of this.
Oh man, I wish I had known I was supposed to bring that up.
It's all right. Let's get into. We have some hikes coming up. We got some local hikes coming up. Can you bring up number one? We have
Unfortunately, I sure can.
October 23rd of this week. So if you guys are wondering what these hikes are, what am I talking about? We are, of course, the official podcast of the Irreverent Warriors. And the Irreverent Warriors do something called Silkies hikes. Silkies, if you don't know what they are, if you're Air Force like me and you're like, is a silky some sort of silk suit that you wear? No, it's not. And they're not silk pajamas. The Marine Corps actually wears these booty shorts. And in the Army, you guys call them Ranger panties.
Because they're originated from Rangers.
That's right. Ranger panties. Make sure you remember you got to deep throat that mic there. Oh, it just got weird again.
Yeah, CJ Frost says Kevin makes me miss pre-internet days. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. CJ
Nice.
Frost, always chiming in. Good friend. He actually was Air Force and he didn't have to wear Ranger panties. But I digress. What were we talking about? Oh, Round Rock, Texas. Ranger panties. So we wear silky shorts. We do a hike. It's usually 22 kilometers. You can carry 22 kilograms of
If
weight
you
or
want
whatever.
to.
If you want to. You don't have to do that. And half the time, it's not even 22 kilometers. The whole point of it is that we get out as veterans and we support each other and we get people out of isolation. And if you haven't been to a hike, get to one, especially if you're a veteran. If you're not a veteran, get to a hike too, because we're about to
Volunteer.
show you where you can do this and volunteer. Bring your friends, bring your family, support veterans. And people say, like, what is it? Why do you guys like to do this? I think, and we'll get into this a little bit during
we're
the show
crazy.
today. We're crazy, but when you are in the military, when you're deploying, when you're with your unit, your squadron, whatever, there's a unit cohesion that you can't duplicate in the civilian world. You can't. Maybe in the fire service, maybe EMS, police. Yes, I'll give those guys, even in the hospital setting. But for the most part, people don't know that because when you are in a combat zone, you don't watch what you say.
Hell no.
You get as dark as you can for your humor just to keep your sanity.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. And so then you find yourself at a board meeting with, actually don't go to board meetings, but just imagine you go to a board meeting and it's all civilians and someone says something and you want to drop a joke and you're like, oh, I can't say
Can't
that.
do that.
People think I'm psychotic. And then you bury that stuff and you're like, you start getting depressed, you miss it, blah, 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 blah. So then you find yourself a Silkies hike, you come out, there's 200, 300, 400 veterans, all like-minded, just having a good time, hiking, crying, laughing. If it's Jeremy, carrying him, because he complains a lot during the hikes. But anyways, go ahead.
Says a guy who doesn't show up to
doesn't
hikes
show
at
up
all.
to hikes.
I was waiting for that.
I
was waiting
am
for that.
little
He didn't
known,
even ride his bike.
little known fact. I am a introverted extrovert. People don't believe that, but it's true.
Ranger panties originates for people to do physical training, and that's why the Air Force never adopted them.
I won't deny that. I won't deny that. We used to do, did I tell this story? We used to do, they were called wing runs, right? So I assume you were over at Bragg. I was there. I was at Pope.
Is that when you were wearing your maxi pad wings?
Yes, with wings.
With wings.
With wings.
So we are out. I actually wore wings, Jeremy, and I highly, I'm trying to come up with something to sound funny, but I'm not. So
It's
we're
one of
out.
those low flow days.
We're out running. Hey.
I didn't say it. He said
We're
it.
out running. We would do these wing runs, and what they would do is they would take the gimpy people and put them in the front, right? The people who had waivers and all that stuff. Because if you try, this is the way the Air Force does it. You put the slow gimpy people in the front, and then you got like, I don't know, whatever a wing consists of, 1,200 people, and you're basically walking. It's like inchworming through the base. It's such a waste of time. So we're doing that. We're wearing the Air Force PT gear, which was horrendous. It didn't breathe, like you couldn't, you know how you like have some flexibility in your t-shirts? None of that. The pants were made, actually they were made by Skillcraft, the same company that makes pencils.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What?
So these things you could be freaking Mr. Olympia. You put these things on, you look like a dumpy 48-year-old dad bod. They're just horrible. So anyways, point to the story. We're doing our little stupid thing, and the combat controllers, if you guys don't know who CCTs are, you know who CCTs are. They're now I'm going to say it, the badass of the Special Forces. These guys are, they're cream of the crop, tier 1. These guys rule. Anyway, so they come running around. And they got their Ranger panties on, and they're running. I'm Air Force. It's like
I understand.
Sorry, you keep saying Air Force and running, and we're trying to figure out where the correlation is.
It's like talking about Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm biased towards certain things like that. So anyways,
This is your house.
let me finish the story. So we're running, and the CCTs come by carrying like a granite rock, and they're passing it by, and they're running like a 4-minute. They're just full out. And I looked, and I'm like, I am not a man. I feel like such a shithead.
Was that Earl
amongst these
Granville?
people. It might have been Earl Granville. No, he wasn't a combat controller. So that's it. That's my story. We have October 23rd, Round Rock, Texas. I want to go down to that hike because I don't know, might be moving to Texas. October 23rd, Fayetteville, North Carolina, the home of our guest here, Ranger Rick. He's been helping out. He's been showing up for things down there, and I'm sure you're going to be at the hike, right?
Negative. I'm actually
shit.
I'm headed to Alabama to
Bam.
put up this sign in Alabama. So we'll be putting up that sign in Alabama this weekend, this Saturday.
Awesome. We'll talk about that sign here in a minute. That's pretty cool. October 30th, Cincinnati, Ohio. October 30th, Richmond, Virginia. Another kind of close one. October 30th, Houston, Texas. That might be my home. North of Houston, but
You better catch up on some Yellowstone.
I know.
You're damn right.
Here's is that where that takes place?
Yellowstone.
Wait, that's the TV show, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I watched all 3 seasons in 3 days.
With Kevin-
That's why I have
It's good?
cowboy boots and cowboy hats now.
You watch it, you're officially a cowboy. That's one with Kevin Costner?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have to watch
Really
that.
good.
Jeremy, is there a way we can I don't know. Do you know what? If you want, you can hold that mic so you don't have to
How was that going? Kevin, how was that again?
hold the mic. If he wants to hold it like
I got
this,
it.
then there
That's
you go.
better.
Now you
There
can
we
be
go.
like now you can be like Frank over here. And Houston, Texas. We're down to our last 10 hikes of the season. We pulled off over 60. I say we. I haven't done shit for your hikes, but you guys.
Oh, we know.
You guys pulled off over 60 hikes this season. It's pretty amazing. If you guys know anything about running a hike and doing all that stuff, which I don't, but I believe it is a little bit of a workload.
Don't ask me.
Yeah. I can't make Fayetteville. Listen, my dad and I go to Fayetteville. We did it last year. I can't because I'm going to go away for the first time. I'm going away for the first time with my wife since we had kids. No kids menus. We're going to drink at the bar. We're going to act like adults. And I am looking for first time in 8 years. So sorry, Fayetteville.
He'll be in bed by 9
Kevin's
o'clock.
gonna have one drink and then have his nap
He'll be in
time.
bed by 9 o'clock.
Just sleeping in the car.
Marissa said she couldn't hear or see anything from the video, but she was on there. I saw you recognized her.
Yes. Yeah. She said we got Eric a motorized scooter for the amount of lack of exercise Air Force does.
When you said couldn't hear or see anything, do you mean the video's down?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah, the video's up. It's showing. It's up now.
All right.
You may have to refresh your browser just in case.
That makes me nervous because this has happened in the past. I don't want to have to go
The
through.
video's going in and out.
It is.
Yes,
What the fuck
it
is
sure
that all
is.
about? That's Facebook because
Okay, so that would mean that's not anything on our end. Everything on our end is just showing fine. That's basically whatever is going on with the production side of Facebook that is allowing us to air our videos, it's coming in choppy. So it's something with Facebook.
Head over
Sunspots.
Sunspots. I'm going to look on 21 Guns page, see how that's going. Or you can head over to, go to 21 Guns, spelled out 21gun.net.
Okay, some see it fine. Facebook can't handle Ranger Rick. That's the fucking
That's
truth.
what
That's
it
what
is.
it is.
That's too much.
If you see the size of this man's
Oh,
arms,
Melissa said it, not Marissa. Melissa.
Okay, I'm seeing it. I'm just going to keep it up in the background. Again, riveting radio.
And by
This
the
is what
way,
we do.
for those of you who don't know and are watching, can you please allow StreamYard to access your Facebook comments? Because when you do comment in the chat, you just come up as Facebook users. We don't know who you are.
we want to talk with you. We want to know who you are as
Yes,
a person.
comment, engage, tell us how horrible we are, how gorgeous they are, or something. I'm eating a cookie, I'm fat. I don't know, say something.
Share it with friends, because again, the whole point of this podcast is kind of like a bridge between hikes and a recruiting tool. So join the Army and the Navy and the Air Force. I mean, recruiting to the hikes. Sorry, wait, didn't you have a recruiter badge?
we don't
Oh,
let's not talk about
Lord.
that. No, let's not bring up the
Army
devil.
or Marines? What were you recruiting?
Marines.
Okay. You were that guy that
I
showed
don't
up
like-
at my
I don't
house.
Like to talk about it. I don't like to talk about
My
it.
house, and he's like, I got some words here
I got
for
lied
you.
to by so many 17-year-old kids.
Told me
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm gonna
Wait,
put
wait.
down. I'm gonna put down some words. Honor. Where does
That's
that
like-
rank in your?
that's like
Yes, Shemai, I see
That's
you.
like 30% of my PTSD right there.
Yeah, no one likes recruiting. I'm glad. Do
Yeah,
officers
recruiters don't
recruit?
like
I don't know if
recruiting.
maybe they run the. I don't know what officers do, but
it's no.
yeah, I would not want to do that.
No.
That's all I got for announcements. Jeremy, do you have anything crazy we have to bring up?
Other than that, make sure you guys go to irreverentwarriors.com. That's where you can find all of your hikes. Go to the events tab or go to the shop. We do have some upcoming merch coming soon. I can't say what.
Changes.
Not so much changes, just things are starting to evolve, starting to get better. So yes, changes. Go to irreverentwarriors.com.
Isn't that what it changed?
There's no changes, but everything is
But things
changing.
are evolving.
Everything is changing.
It's
Jeremy's-
evolving. It's not a change. It's
Jeremy's
it's
going through
evolution.
some changes. There's hair showing up where there wasn't.
Finally, it took
Voice.
forever. Things are finally growing and dropping on his mouth and
When
face.
it's time to change.
But yes,
we
go ahead and go to the hike page, sign up for a hike. Make sure you sign up for Eventbrite. If you don't have your merch 2 weeks prior to the hike, you can't get it unless they have some at the hike. So you'd have to find out on your local pages. So
Okay. So do that. ReverendWarriors.com.
All of that.
Log in.
you're fired.
Log in. That's all I got. Do you have anything?
I am black, bearded, and blessed.
The
Not where it
triple-
counts.
The triple B's.
In that order.
Good Lord. Okay.
Oh, we're getting fired.
I have, do you know, I have a story I want to follow up with because of last week. I don't know if you guys have been following the Marine Lieutenant Colonel Stu
Yes.
Scheller
Yes.
was found guilty on Thursday of numerous charges in connection with his very public battle with the top military and civilian leaders that began over the Afghanistan withdrawal. What happened with that? Didn't they do a good job with the withdrawal? I heard it was a huge
It was
success.
an amazing success.
And then it morphed into a grudge match over the system, a Marine Corps spokesman said. Whatever. After a day-long hearing, Lieutenant Colonel Scheller has been found guilty of all 6 charges stemming from his criticism on social media of senior leaders over the Afghan withdrawal. Don't worry, I have something to say about this. On August 20... No way. Kevin has something to say?
No.
August 26th, Scheller posted a viral video. We don't have to go over that. If you guys haven't seen the viral video, just check it out. In all, prosecutors charged Scheller that he discredited himself as an officer or disrespected other officers and officials 27 times. Someone went through there and was like, this qualifies as
1, 2, 3.
just
It
put a
wasn't a
check
Marine
there.
that counted because we can't count
They-
power.
What?
27 feelings hurt.
I know.
They fucking deserved it, and he is winning 100%.
Oh, did you see how much money he's got now?
He doesn't give a
2 point
fuck.
something million.
2.5 million. Yeah. God damn it. Can I go back in and start?
Just fucking right.
I can do that same thing.
The whole time I'm saying to myself, this dude's blowing up his career. And I'm like, oh.
No, he's not.
Oh.
No,
he's
he
not.
is
He's good to
solidifying
go.
his retirement. That is what it is.
He's
exactly what it
good.
is. I'm wondering if he was, if this was all a poker game and he saw the hand and he's like,
Oh, he
Marines
went
aren't
all
that
in.
smart.
He went
Yeah,
all
that's
in.
true,
bro.
that's true.
Marines are not
Thank you
that
very
smart.
Their Marines
Thank you
are
very
the,
much.
he actually just, hey guys, I was to Afghanistan. He had no idea. And then someone's like, here's a boatload of money. He's like,
Okay.
oh, I see
Oh
what I
yeah,
did.
$5,000 fine and just a little reprimand in his fucking discharge file. You
Yeah.
know what? I'm gonna take
The
that.
picture of him walking out of the doors with that grin on his face.
Yeah.
It's freaking epic.
He pleaded. The plea was part of an agreement that Scheller's lawyers reached with the Marine Corps that limits his punishment to no more than a letter of reprimand and a seizure of 2/3 of pay for up to 12 months. So that's 9 months of pay or 2/3. I don't know. 8 months of pay, whatever.
It's $5,000 in total, and he doesn't give a
Do you
shit.
know what I'm starting to see, though? I'm starting to see, and I shared this with you, Jeremy. I won't say who posted that, but there's starting to be some shade thrown at Lieutenant Colonel Scheller. People are vilifying him, and I can't help to wonder if politics plays a role. Okay,
Maybe.
There's a few I've seen call him a sellout.
yeah,
But
because of what we just said.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy maybe played a game of poker very well.
That was okay. That was a poker. I'm going to hold you guys accountable. I'm going to hold myself accountable and look stupid too, knowing that his ass wasn't going anywhere.
Do you think? Wait, you think he looks stupid?
He made himself look stupid by posting it in uniform. Had he done it on his personal time, it might have been a different time. But the fact that you do it in uniform is probably the biggest one because that's conduct unbecoming in a more serious light. But I think if you do it on your personal time, no one really gives a shit.
Selling out. Listen, it's. I don't even know what to say about it. Drink Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Oh my god!
Jameson is the way to go.
Oh man.
So I won't even say the site because I might get in trouble. But here's an example: anger over Afghanistan and the imperfect example of Stu Scheller. They try to explain it like this: throughout his explanations after he pleaded guilty to 6 charges, Scheller's word painted a diluted picture of a man who was willing to be held accountable but remained unrepentant. I'm standing, and this is his words, I'm standing here today pleading guilty. This is me accepting accountability, Scheller said in his own defense on Thursday. But it deeply pains me that my senior leaders are incapable of being as courageous. 2 things there. All right, dude.
We
now,
get it.
Yeah,
get
I
it.
mean, as courageous as me, that's a little okay.
I love it. I 100%.
I love it, but there's a certain point.
No. I
of
support the
humbleness
guy.
you still have to have because when you're going, ha ha, that all right, Dick. Now you kind of
It was a
muddied it little bit.
backhanded apology, and I love
Yeah.
every single. The
Yeah.
pettiness is awesome.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I mean, look we're talking about the dude. He was a lieutenant. How many lieutenant colonels are in the Marine Corps? A couple thousand.
Well, here's the thing.
And now we're talking about him.
But
He's all
here's
over.
the thing. Now, no matter what happens to him, everyone's going to be looking at this whole machine, this cog, as it is, and saying, "Okay, well, wait a minute. Was this dude onto something?" Because now, like, he's lifted the skirt up.
Well, that's why they don't. That's why they didn't want him to do it.
I agree,
It's
but
too
now
late now.
C.J. Frost has a good point. He said he made it about him. An anonymous complaint from a lieutenant colonel would have been more helpful.
Fair.
That's true. But
But
he's
again-
got 2.5 million.
Again, somebody pulled the skirt up, and it's there. The baby's ugly. The baby's ugly.
That's true. That's true.
Who really addresses ugly babies, though?
I do. Remember that Seinfeld?
Oh, I do.
He's
I do.
what's the dude's name? Kramer. He goes Truman or something like that. He looks at the baby and he's, I guess that wasn't as funny. The way
I just
said
look
it
at
there.
I look at my girlfriend and I look at it and I goes, "What's wrong with this kid?"
There is. Listen, I'm gonna peek.
Like, it's a baby. It's just born. I was like, it doesn't matter.
It's a bean.
Peek,
It's a bean.
peek behind the curtain. There's actually a term we use in medicine called FLK, and it stands for funny looking kid. I shit you not. People write
love
FLK.
it.
And what it
I love
basically
it.
means is, I don't know what's going on with this kid, but something's not right. And so if you, Jeremy's going to go home and look at his baby folder and it's going to be like FLK, WTF.
Fuck. Look at this kid.
Hopefully, it grows into its features.
That's right.
She's 13 now. She definitely grew.
What the hell? So this begs the question, right? This is the thing we've been talking about all the time. So and you use this term all the time. What hill do you die on? And in the modern age, it's like, what hill do you die on? Do you stand freely and speak freely, knowing that what you say is righteous, right? You're not saying. Here's the thing: in the American, I guess in America right now, and you can call it from social media, they've made this fake world of Nazis and white supremacists and all these things, and then they figured out a way to say, if you disagree with me, that's what you are, and people are afraid. I'm terrified of that, right? That's a horrible thing to be pinned with. But it's brilliant because it shuts us all up. And there's even, like, if you said something, Frank, do you know what they call it? Multicultural white supremacy. I shit you not. Look that up.
Yeah, I know. I was going to bring that up earlier.
Yeah.
And I will down that hill all day long. And I'm at the point now in my life where I've long ago lost all fucks to give.
Sure.
Because some of the shit that I've seen, the things that I've seen, for me, it's they've diluted everything to points where everything is racist. So if everything's racist, literally nothing is racist anymore.
Exactly. If everyone's a Nazi,
The words literally mean nothing.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't care.
Did you ever see American
don't
History
care.
X?
Yeah.
That
Love
when
that.
I saw that, I'm like, oh, there's a white supremacist. So that was like my benchmark. That's the guy I knew. Like,
Exactly.
someone looks like that, dude, I'm walking away.
Yeah,
That was racist.
That's racist.
That was racist.
That's racist.
Yes, that was
But for me, I'll just listen. I know at the end of the day, if I whatever I say, whatever I do, if I can look my wife and my kids in the face and say, hey, this is what I believe in, and these are the values that I want to impart upon you, or these are what I want you to look at me in favor, then I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I could literally give two shits what anybody else says.
Yeah.
I don't care. As long as if they have a problem with it, then I have to say, okay, well, maybe I went too far. But if they're okay with what then it is what it is.
So it brings the question, right? So what do? Do you placate? Do you bend over and say, yeah, I'm just gonna fall in line. I don't want to mess with anyone. I don't want to do a podcast and talk openly or anything like that. Or do you say, I'm an American. I have the First Amendment right to say what I wish. I know that I don't judge people except for their, what is that, character versus color of the skin and all, rank, or like sexual oriented. I don't give a shit. What kind of person are you? Are you a good person? Are you somebody that if you were with my kids, I could turn the other way and walk away? That's a good benchmark. Then you're good, right? So I guess the point of that is this guy's. So let's take away all the 2.5 million and all that stuff. Let's take all that away. This dude said, I could lose, in the purest form, he said, I could lose my retirement. I could lose my standing. I could be called whatever. And I could go to the brig for 20 years, they were talking about at some point. And he said, but I'm standing up for what is right. I'm going to stand up what I believe is right, and I'm not going to back down. And that is such an honorable trait. I mean,
Ballsy.
any way you want to look at it. It's ballsy. It's fantastic. And I don't know. Have you guys ever seen the movie Anthropoid?
No.
Weird name, Anthropoid. It was about a group of Czechoslovakian soldiers that jumped behind enemy lines during World War II, early on in World War II. And their whole task was to kill one of the top-ranking Nazis. The guy's name was Reinhard. It doesn't matter. So this guy was the architect of the final solution, which was killing all the Jews. So they go in there. These guys are 22, 23 years old. And they go in with cyanide capsules, knowing full well when they kill this dude, they're not going to get. If you get, they're going to peel your skin up. They're going to do horrible things. Not to mention, they're going to execute all the people you know. And the whole point was, okay, this is the lot I drew in life. This is something I believe in, and I'm going to this extreme to it. And it's like when I see things like that, or the one I brought up, I can't remember his name now, but the dude that was an Austrian that wouldn't profess his loyalty to Hitler, and he ended up getting his head cut off. And they're like, just profess it. When I see stories and I hear stories like that, I'm like, man, John Hancock, people were so brave at one point. And they said, I don't care what you say. Here's my name. Here's my face. This is what I'm doing. And I know I can lose everything. And I know everyone I know can lose everything. But this is where I have to stop because it's the right thing.
So Marissa also says something real quick. She goes, as someone who's had family members in Nazi concentration camps, when everyone is labeled as a Nazi or compared to Hitler, it just diminishes what people who lived through it endured.
Yeah.
And I agree, because people are throwing shit around, including like sellout, stuff like that. Whether it's, again, like it's calling someone a Nazi despite what you believe in, whatever it is you're putting out there, throwing shit out like that, it ruins it. It completely ruins it. And then on top of that, for those who really are the neo-Nazis and the people that are around today, like douchebags, it's nothing now. It's common. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no fucking sense.
Yeah, it's crazy. We went down a rabbit hole there, but it's okay. At least I didn't bring up old DOD training videos. That was a bust last week. I thought it was good.
That was fun.
I thought it was fun.
I deleted them out of the Evernote.
I brought an old STD video of last week. Now let's pretend we're doing like we used to do.
Mike Dez, yes, we can see your comments.
Watch this. Mike Dez. Hey, there you go. Awesome dude. Actually, I don't know him. He could be an asshole. We text all the time, but he's got a service dog. He just got a alligator.
Yeah, Beth Angel, I believe her name is. They presented him with a dog.
He didn't know because
DC hike.
He wanted to get Johnny. Johnny, the PTSD service dog. If you guys, or it can be any service dog, I guess. He's not fully trained yet. If you guys are looking for a service dog, you're in the Raleigh area. I assume the Raleigh area is going to be the best way to contact me. Reach out. We have a dog. We're training it. Not me and Jeff Melzen of Blue Line Canine, and he wants to get it out to a veteran. So he's an awesome dog. He looks like a giant Chihuahua, like a 40-pound Chihuahua or almost like a, I don't know, what's the Rottweiler meets Chihuahua. Wow. meets Batman. I don't know. He's an awesome dog.
It's like a Friday night in Fort Benning.
Yo. Or Fort Hood.
Chihuahua meets Rottweiler.
That's funny.
So I got a question for you, Rick.
Yes.
What's your take on Scheller at this point? Now that he's been released, he's out, he's free to go. What do you think might happen or possibly not happen?
I think he's just going to move on with his life. You know, he's going to continue to be an advocate, you know, that's what he started for. So he should just continue to do what he does. But, you know, sometimes the hands that are dealt to us, you know, are just the way they are. Yeah. And if the man, you know, he risked his career at the beginning, like you said, he did put himself on the line there, you know, by doing it in uniform. We all know, hey, you don't show up to the strip club in uniform.
Right.
It's not right.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
you know,
no one told me that. But anyways.
oh, I used to pick up friends there all the time. I'm like, it's 11:30.
Now, do you think there will be any kind of accountability that actually happened, or do you think this is for nothing?
I think it's over, done with, pretty much. Yeah.
I bet you he's going to pull like a veteran celebrity sort of thing. He's going to have his own
100%.
talk show. He's going to be doing all that stuff, which is fine. It's people who do talk shows are actually pretty cool, I think, for the most part.
Someone had a good idea in the comments. You should make a movie about him and let Matthew McConaughey play him.
Why did he look like him?
He could do it.
I used to have a Matthew McConaughey impersonation, but I can't do impersonations on the spot.
As long as he doesn't come out going, all right.
All right. No, I
Don't do
can't.
it.
See, when I'm on the spot, I can't do it. So don't do that. All right, let's do that. Let's go into Ranger Rick.
Whoa.
Let's go into him. So you were boxing
I'm
yesterday.
the closest.
Yeah.
You enjoy boxing.
Yeah. I enjoy boxing.
I say boxing. Boxing. You enjoy boxing.
It's a little boxing.
How long you been at it?
Oh, I mean, it wasn't professional.
You
It was more like recreational
was it
yesterday.
professional? I thought you said you were professional. I'm like, damn,
No,
that's pretty
we
cool.
actually did a boxing smoker, not a boxing smoker, but a boxing event earlier this year in April. And we helped raise money for my suicide awareness run. So I actually sent you that video one time. And you can take a look at it. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
But it pretty much started last year, Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, I host what I would call Rickmas Eve. So
I love it.
yes, so it's Rickmas Eve. Invite all my friends over, and I do all the cooking. Ooh. So, you know, like I said, I could cook jerk chicken, curry chicken, coconut rice beans, all that stuff that I've taught my girlfriend how to cook. I can actually do myself.
Nice.
But she always questioned why I only do it once a year. And I said, if I did it more than once a year, then you wouldn't have a purpose. So I have to give you a purpose.
to give you something to look forward to.
So, of course,
Smart.
the food, the drinks, all that. And, you know, yes, that's right. You know, what am I going to do if, you know? Okay. But, yeah, so we initiated. But actually, I've done a few boxing smokers in the military, you know, and stuff like that. But, you know, just a couple of horse playing yesterday. That was about it.
It used to be like everyone boxed a long time ago, like in the 40s and 50s. They even had like boxing match. Actually, do you know what? Now that I say that, you're going to not believe me, but it's true. The Air Force would have boxing night at Belize, and you would go out and box. They had to. Flyers couldn't because if we got hit and broken, it's like a couple $1 million on the drain. But yeah, so I mean, and it's such a good. If you haven't tried it, it's one of those things where it seems scary that you're going to take a shot to the face, but after you get hit a few times.
Oh, no.
It's you're like, oh, that's not bad.
It's like
All
we
right.
talk about everybody has a plan till they get punched in the
they get
face.
punched in the
Damn
face.
right.
And then everybody, so for instance, we had the fight earlier this year, and everybody outside of the ring had to say something about someone doing what they're doing inside of the ring. You don't know what it's like unless you really know what it's like to go into a ring and do training on something that doesn't punch back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it was for charity. The guy I fought was 160 pounds.
Oh, boy.
And I was 210 pounds.
Okay.
You know, but still, he punched me once or twice, you know, got me upset. But
I poking the bear.
yeah, but that was about it. But everything is different when you're going against something that's trying to come back at you.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I was smoked.
Yeah.
But I was like, because I don't do cardio. This body is not made for cardio.
When you go 3 rounds, you are like 3 minutes. It's like, oh, this is what drowning feels like.
Yeah.
You know, like, especially if you do jiu-jitsu or something that's what I like to call 3-dimensional fighting. You get down there and you're like, oh, I'm smothering and I can't breathe and this guy's trying to rip my arm off.
Exactly.
But it's great. I think it's really good for veterans. I think it's because you get that kind of camaraderie. You get also, there's no faking it, right? So with other hobbies, you can kind of fake it. You can pay to play, but if you do, let's say jujitsu, you can't just pay to play in jujitsu because you're going to get your ass kicked, especially if you're rolling with some big boys. It's gonna mess with you.
I say jiu-jitsu is the art of folding clothes with the person still inside.
The person's still in it. I used to love it. Here's the reason why I got out of jiu-jitsu. You had 18-year-old kids that were like, "Oh, I'm the toughest guy in the room," and then they're trying to rip your shoulder off. You're like, "Dude, I'm 39 years old. Please don't do that.
Please stop. Don't do that.
Please. What are you doing? Okay, I get it. You're 18."
A few people in the comments. Marissa said that because of the boxing and all that stuff, he has big Rick energy. Get it? Big Rick energy instead of big. Yeah.
I see what you did.
And Eric said Ranger Rick is the goot, the greatest of one time.
Who said that?
Greatest of
Eric
one
Bass,
time.
Marissa's
Oh,
boyfriend.
because that's what I told him. Because everybody asked me if I'm going to fight again, and I was like, no, I'm going to retire at 1-0. I am known as the Goot, the greatest of one time. And I tell most likely people want to fight me because they just saw the boxing match and they feel like I abused the kid.
Yeah.
But he asked for it, and then
Sure.
second, I'm like, they want to be famous.
He knew
I
what he
can
was
make you
getting into.
famous. If you come at me with the right numbers, I'll make you famous.
That's
funny.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna move to Russia like Rocky and Rocky 4 because after the last fight, I'm like, man, I should have trained way more than 7 days.
Greatest workout montage in the history
It is.
of
Oh, man.
film.
Yeah,
With the-
Chad Soundart says Kraken Skulls Boxing Brawl Episode 2.
Yes. So Chad, shout out to Chad. Chad's the man I told you about earlier, and we'd love to get him out here on the show. He knows who he is.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun.
So he has a lot of input and a lot of stuff that he can put out. But yeah, Kraken Skulls Boxing Smoker. I think March is coming up.
Nice.
And we'll send you the link from the first one. You'll see that one. You'll definitely want to come out there, maybe set up your podcast out there.
That would be
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
All right, let's consider it
Well,
done.
because we were talking about having announcers.
Yeah.
And we want people with probably like your personality, his personalities to actually do it. I think
He's got a
that'd be great.
personality.
Yeah.
We have a saying.
You see those glasses?
He's got the personality of a fart.
See those glasses?
Hold on, give me a second. I'm going to let one out just for you.
Don't do that.
Please
Weird,
don't.
Don't do that.
Please don't. I just
I'm
painted those walls.
I'm pretty sure I had the DIVOC, so I'm pretty sure I can't smell anything. So I'm good.
I don't even know what DIVOC is, but I don't
It's
want it.
something backwards.
Something
Think
backwards?
about it.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Jeez.
I don't know.
And
To
you're
be
the smart one
in the room. He's like really on slow on the uptake right now.
And I spit that out real quick too.
It's okay. I have Iverm. I can't say
Don't
it.
say
We'll be
it.
pulled off of Facebook. So we like to talk a lot about transitioning in this.
Whoa.
Stop from active duty. From active duty to civilian world, you're my first guest that actually had to do a transition from Belize to the U.S. What was that like, and how did it shape you as a person?
Well, I was born there, grew up, till I was 7, so then moved to the States. So it really wasn't much. I was only 7 years old.
Yeah.
I wasn't used to life.
Yeah,
But
sure.
I could tell you what it was like going back at 13 years old
Yeah.
because I would get in trouble, and my mom sent me back to Belize to live with my grandparents.
Yeah.
And they lived on a village and a farm.
Yeah.
And going from the city, Jersey City, back to Belize and those
As
villages.
rural as it
change,
gets.
huh?
It was definitely a change.
That's
And,
an English speaking country, isn't it? For the most
yes,
part.
it is. They have it's considered West Indian, Caribbean.
Yeah.
So they speak where it's a Jamaican, kind of like a Jamaican accent.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much like that. Yeah.
So you didn't your accent floated away with your years up
Oh
in
yeah,
Jersey.
yeah. Yes, it did.
My Boston accent disappeared. A little bit comes out every now and then, but yeah, it happens.
God.
I was 7 when I left, and then I went to New Hampshire, which is just
You guys won yesterday, didn't you?
I don't know. I don't watch
I think
NFL.
No.
Or Major
It was
League
baseball.
I used to listen. When you come walking in, there's a baseball bat over here. It was from when they won 108 games back in 2018. I don't want to go down this path, but I used
Please
to
don't.
live and breathe sports, and then somehow everyone started getting injuries because they were on their knees, and and I was like, why is this whole team? They're hurt. They can't stand up. So, yes, it is some kind of sick joke, but it broke my heart as a patriot, and I just backed away and I said, I don't need that in my life. Anyway, so you started out and this question I like to ask people that have at least a lifetime of service, and I would say you did. You started off as a first responder, EMT sort of thing.
Yes, I actually got pulled out of school by my mom, and she's put me in this GED program called Youth Corps AmeriCorps.
Mm-hmm.
And in Youth Corps, you get the option of 3 jobs. You get the option of a desk secretary, kind of like what the Air Force is.
Yo.
The museum, so you get to work at a museum, and then you get the option to work on a rescue squad. So, of course I picked that.
Sure,
And
yeah.
I actually ended up getting my EMT license before I actually got my GD. So I did that for about a good, 4 months. I worked on a rescue squad and I worked on an ambulance transport company. And then finally, once again, Mom made another decision for me and, went to the recruiter. And next thing I know, I'm getting a recruiter call every day, all day.
Yeah.
So, and that's it. And then I went and joined the military, not knowing what I was getting myself into.
Whoops.
I actually thought I was going to be a firefighter, but fire support specialist is not a firefighter.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. Everyone has their story of what they were going into the military for, and then whatever happened during that. So,
Yeah.
your mom, like, did you grow up in a rough area, or what was? Why did she
Jersey
push you?
City, New Jersey.
Okay.
And so we lived 4 blocks away from the projects.
Okay.
And, the majority of people in the projects, black kids, and our group consisted of Puerto Rican, Dominican, 1 black kid, 1 Asian kid, and then there was me, which nobody knew what I was. And we were led by a white guy, older white guy.
Okay.
So our group was like that group right there. But these kids, we'd go to school, they'd start trouble with us. They would come down at least 20 deep from the projects and just try to start a fight. And that's it. So we grew up in fights my entire life, and it was, but I wouldn't take anything away from it. Growing up that way, going through what I went through, as a kid, not being one of those people that was accepted in, because still, even within my own group, they were just like, you're Belizean. We don't even know where that's from, so now I'll get beat up by them too. So, but, I'm very appreciative of how I grew up and the way I grew up. And it helps mold me to do things I do.
Sure.
So that's
I think there's also a level of, it's in our DNA, right? It's in a lot of people's DNA. It's funny, we shirk off traditional, like I'm one that says humans have been around for about 200,000 years, and then whatever other form of us has been around for millions of years. And we had roles to play in our little groups, our little subsets. And I firmly believe that a lot of that carries with you. So you go to a military base, you go hang out with a bunch of military people. The majority of those people are going to have that DNA that says, I'm the guy that's supposed to go out and fight the tigers. I'm the guy, or girl. I'm the girl that's supposed to go out and fight the bears or whatever. But yeah, and we have this weird thing nowadays where we're like, oh, we have to vilify that. We have to say, no, that's not what you're supposed to be. And it's like, just let it happen, right? I mean, obviously it's in your DNA. You went to EMS, and then we'll talk about, what you did in your military career, because you weren't a finance guy. You weren't sitting at the desk with finances.
No.
So let's do that. Let's talk about, you get in the Army. What's your path? And I ask this question because Army confuses the shit out of me when it comes to special operations. You've got Airborne, Ranger Tab, Q Course, Regiment. Is that the order that you go, or
No, you can actually go to Ranger Regiment first. You can actually go to SF first.
Okay.
But in order to be special operations, you have to be Airborne.
Okay.
So Airborne would be.
Oh, we started Airborne.
Yeah, you pretty much start Airborne, and so like I said, I didn't know what I was going to be. I thought 3 years. Finally, I got there and they said, hey, you're going to be cleaning cannons. I was like, cool. And I had this picture of me sitting on a cannon with the cannon coming between my leg and the sun is setting. And I'm like, I could do this for 3 years. I could do this. And so then the Airborne recruiter comes and he's got his little Airborne hat, the red maroon beret.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that looks pretty cool. I was like, you know what? I could probably pick up a lot of women with that thing. Yeah. And I was like, he was like, who wants to go Airborne? And I was like, I'll go, And I was scared of heights. I really didn't like heights, but I was like, hey, man, that's a cool hat.
Comes at you quickly. You don't really
yeah.
have a chance to look and go, that's high. It just comes at you.
So then basic training, AIT, and then the Ranger recruiter comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in his greens, the original black beret, the real black beret.
Let me ask you real quick. This is the tab or the regiment guy that comes?
This is the regiment guy. So this
Okay,
is Ranger
okay.
Regiment.
Okay.
So back then, Ranger Regiment, you have 75th Ranger Regiment, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Ranger Battalions.
Right.
They wore black berets
Okay.
before they moved to tan beret because of some douchebag general.
Yeah, because everyone was wearing black berets at one point.
Yeah,
when I was there.
exactly.
Yeah.
He was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he comes in dressed up, all looking all cool, and I'm like, hell yeah, bet you I could get a lot of with that. And then he's like, who wants to go Ranger? And I was like, I do.
That's
and then,
funny.
Then next thing you know, he starts talking about 30-mile ruck marches, no sleeping. And I'm like, whoa, what did I sign up for?
I want to polish cannons.
Yeah. Polish. I went from being a firefighter, polishing cannons, to now I can't sleep.
That's funny.
So then after that, Airborne school, then actual RIP, which stood for Ranger Indoctrination Program.
Okay.
And one of the greatest things is right after Airborne school, they take all the rippies and they tell them to go stand in the corner, segregate you.
And
it's like, oh, okay. Well, so then they pull up in a bread truck. I don't know if they still do, but they pull up in a bread truck and, they're like, I'm like, oh, cool, we got a ride. And they're like, get all your shit on the truck, blah, blah. And then you see guys jumping in the truck and they're like, get out of the truck and pull them. And this is where you run your first mile from Airborne school in your boots, in your uniform, to the RIP compound.
Oh.
And it's to mimic the Mogadishu Mile from Somalia. That's one of the things they say was to do.
Love tradition.
And you get there and they say, bow your head, close your eyes. If you don't want to be here, step out, You lift your head up, and I look to my left and my right. I'm like, where'd they go? They're all in the back. A class of like 30 diminished down to a class of 15 just with that simple run and that simple intimidation of, hey, you don't want to be here? Give you the option. And then they just step out that way.
Did you ever have in your mind the idea that you could just quit at any time, or were you I'm making it through this?
No, I never thought about quitting. But never thought about, hey, this is what I want to be. Because still, at this point, I didn't know what an Army Ranger was. I mean, my mom thought I was a park ranger for 4 years.
That's awesome.
So she was like, how's the park? And I'm like, what do you mean the park?
And again, this is because I can never remember this stuff. This is you went from Airborne, and now the RIP is to get you to the regiment?
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to go through a selection process to go into Ranger Regiment.
Okay.
And one of the things people don't know, only a few people know, it took me 3 times.
Oh, wow.
And so I didn't quit. First time I did it, I didn't make the ruck march out to Cold Range, which is basically a big smoke-a-thon land nav. So they're like, hey, you have the option to quit or you can recycle. And I was like, cool, I'll recycle.
Yes.
So I had about a good 2-3 weeks. I worked on my road marching. One of the big things is, how the sidewalk has the lines separate. Mm-hmm. That's how I worked on my road march.
Okay.
I would walk, I would stretch my stride back and forth. Yep.
Okay. What's up? Did the camera go down?
Oh, did it?
Yeah, you got to bring it back up. Hold on. So as we keep going, Mike Des wants to know, when did you go to RIP?
I went to RIP in 1999.
Do you know how to bring it up? Oh, Jeremy, can you grab that?
I got it.
Why do these cameras go down like that?
Mine don't, because I have a new one. Sucker.
Oh, yeah.
Is it time to re-pour this Jameson too?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So while you guys are doing that, we're going to just bring up the camera. Our cameras have been quitting, and it's because we use I don't want to get into it, but we'll call this a little bit of a break right here. And I guess, let me ask you, as you're doing actually, I might want another pour of the Buffalo Trace is open. Jeremy, while you're doing that, can you bring the Buffalo Trace over here as well? It's right there in front of you.
I know. Stand by. I'm bringing it.
So, okay, then here's a question. Can you go to Ranger Regiment without having your tab?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
You do.
Is there any what do you would call that? Rivalry between tabs and scrolls? Like if you come in.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Now, what if you have a tab when you go in to get your scroll, or the other way around? Like,
so when you get, it's tab versus scroll.
Right.
So Ranger School is a school.
Okay.
It's a leadership course.
I got you. Yes.
It's basically the infantry leadership course. So, 11 Bravos, that's a school that they want to go to. That's their bread and butter.
Okay.
So
yes.
if you see anybody over the rank of E6 that don't have a Ranger tab, pretty much. I don't knock people that go to it and, don't pass. But I do knock people who get the option of going and turn it down, knowing that that's their bread and butter of their MOS.
Yeah.
It's kind of like their pinnacle, like that's the varsity.
Yeah,
well, it's
pretty much.
the same.
Yeah.
It's in the Air Force with flyers, whatever airframe you're on, they have something called weapons school, and everyone wants to go to weapons school because you're the peak of the flyers at that point. And I guess the Navy has. Did it shut down again, or are you back up?
I was back up.
Okay,
I
good.
think it's back up.
The Navy has obviously Top Gun and things like that. Do you know what's something that you reminded me of? And I think this is one of the cool things about the military is that they know how to dangle the carrot in front of you, right? Because you join, you're like, you know what? I'm going to do 4 years and I'm going to be motor pool and that's all I'm going to do. And then you see someone walk by with, a different color beret on. In the Air Force, someone walks by with a leather jacket on. You're like, that guy's cool. He's got a leather jacket.
Tom Cruise.
How do I get a leather jacket? Oh, you got to go to flight school. Oh man. But it's always something, right? It's always, does anyone actually reach the pinnacle of having it all? Besides, who's that general there? My thing's going, Millie? What's up with Millie? Miley?
Don't.
What's up with him? I looked at his rack and he's got everything.
Of course you looked at his rack.
I did. All right, we won't go down there.
We did with Scheller. Why don't we go there? We're already here.
Yeah.
You said it. You started it.
Well, no, I saw his ribbon rack,
Well,
and
I'm not in
the guy's got
anymore. I
everything.
can literally say whatever the
So
hell I
here's
wanna
the
say at this
question.
point.
Here's the question. And I want to obviously continue with Rick here, but the question is that due to a BX warrior, or is he legit? Did he operate? And I don't know if you're comfortable with talking about.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay, so Millie, you know who I'm talking about, right? The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He's got, and I look and I'm like, dude, I see a Ranger tab, I see scroll, I see Halo wings, I see air assault. And I'm like, so either he's a badass or they just, I don't know. And
He became a general.
He became he's a 4-star. Right?
Yeah. So yeah, politics.
Okay.
Once you reach a certain rank, I believe senior E7 in the Army, it starts to become political at that point.
So he could have been a legit operator as a young officer, and then he just did his thing.
I mean, the way when people try to look at those people and just criticize them or just talk crap, one, political plays a lot of part in their decision.
Sure.
But what that man has done to get to where he's at, that's enough said. He's where he's at for a reason.
Yeah.
That's like the president. He's where he's at for a reason. For some reason.
This
people make. But at the end of the day,
people make decisions. People make decisions that you're not privy to.
But like I said, there's a reason why they're there, and they made it that far.
Is one harder than the other? I'm gonna stop beating this horse. But is one harder than the other? Scroll versus tab.
Well, as far as the scroll, we say, hey, Ranger Scroll is a way of life. Tab is a school. So the tab, you go to a 60-day school. 60 days to live and to be a part of Ranger Regiment. That's an everyday life.
Right.
Everyday life. Now, when you talk about the RIP process, that's when I went through was 3 weeks. So 3 weeks of sucking it up. But I was like brand new, 19 years old. So that's why I kept going and going, and I didn't know any better. And I was a 13 Fox, so they wanted me. So as long as I didn't quit, they wanted me, and they, and that's how it ended up. But yeah, to continue that day in, day out, that's the way of life. School, 60 days, people go back to their units, and don't really do anything. Sometimes people don't do anything. They just go to Ranger School because they've been awarded the school or, however it is. So.
Does the regiment have any just like support staff that don't have to go through RIP, like your medical people or
Back then, no. Everybody who went to Ranger Regiment had to go through RIP or RASP at the time. If you were a senior NCO, you had to go through RASP, and and then those people are called imports.
Okay. Yeah. So of course we're going over time. I don't give a shit. We're just gonna keep pushing. Jeremy, do you have anywhere to be in the morning? I don't. I just have to diagnose and treat people, but whatever. So let's jump ahead a little bit. And if you have something that you want to talk about before this, then by all means. But so yeah, you obviously went to regiment, and then you got some holes poked in you. And
that was an SF.
Oh wait, you went to SF?
Yeah.
I didn't freaking know this. Okay, so then all right. So your regiment, you go to SF. For those who are watching, you made it to the Green Beret. So tell us about that transition. I didn't realize that.
So I spent 4 years Ranger Battalion. Then from there I went to Korea, spent a year in Korea. And this is one of those things that I talk about. Like, you got guys that come in, especially your country-born Fred guys. They're like, I'm coming in, I'm going to be a Ranger, hooah, or I'm going to be a Green Beret, hooah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, I'm going to clean a tank or whatever. And so this is an honest story where there was guys in Korea going to selection, quitting selection, and then taking 14 days that was left in selection and adding the other 14 days on and have a whole month at home and then go back and finish their time in Korea. And that's what they were doing.
Okay.
And they were getting away with it. And at that point, it sounded like a great plan. So I was like, oh.
Let me try that.
Let me try that out. And I did. And
you made
so
it.
I made my, I made my rank E4 in January of 2003, and December they told me, they were like, hey, you're gonna make E4 so you can go to selection. So it wasn't something like I was like, I'm going to selection, let me go train. No.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they were like, hey, you're gonna make E4 January 1st. I think it might have been 2 weeks. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'm going to selection. They're like, when? January 7th. I was like, I need to train. I went on a treadmill like once or twice. And I was like, all right, I'm T for train. You know, because it was just something that wasn't in my mind to do.
Yeah.
So it was like, go, you know, withdraw after 7 days and take the 14 days and then take the other 14 days, spend time with my family and,
Sure.
you know, go wherever the Army took me. So I went there, sat in the briefing. I was like, drank the Kool-Aid. I was like, man, this sounds cool as hell. I guess I'll hang out till they kick me out.
I love Green Berets.
You
It's a
know? I was like,
freaking
yeah.
cool job.
And I still, at that point, I didn't know what a Green Beret. I never watched John Wayne.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so I didn't grow up watching any of that. You know, I didn't know what it was. So I was like, this sounds cool, you know? And, you know, there's one time I was running through selection. I hit this tree, knee high, went rolling down the hill. I got out. I went on the road. I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I was like, I'm out. I was like, I'm here running through the woods in the dark. No risk assessment. Nobody cares about my well-being.
Right.
You know? So I was like, I'm going to walk this road because you're not supposed to walk the road.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to walk this road until they come find me, you know? And normally they're out there just circling, you know?
Oh, you
I
made
walked
it.
this road for like 2 clicks. And I finally got to an intersection. I was like, well, I guess they're not coming for me.
That's funny.
And then I was like, I figured out where I was and I hopped back in the road. And that's like one of the stories right there.
Nice.
And
Nice.
then I graduated. And I tell this story, I usually tell this story like 4 or 5 years. And I was like, here I am 4 years later, an SF Green Beret.
Wow.
You know, and then, but yeah, that's the story of that. But like I said, I always tell people, they're like, oh man, you're Ranger and SF. Wow, is that something you always want to do? Did you watch, you play cops and robbers, you know, and all that? I was like, no, man, I ain't know. Like I said, my mom thought I was a park ranger.
It's part of life. I mean, that's and you know things happen. I guess that way.
It does. Everything happens for a reason, you know.
I always when I grew up, like you bring up John Wayne. When I grew up, I always thought Green Berets. Like I just pictured like grizzly old warriors with scars across their face and stuff. And then I worked at Bragg, and I'm like, a dude would walk by in a Green Beret. He looked like he was 16. I'm like, wow, how is this dude a Green Beret? Maybe I was old. I have no idea. But But wow, I didn't realize that. So then you got holes poked in you. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because from what I read, 1 bullet, 5 holes.
Yes.
How the hell did that happen? Yeah, see?
Yes. So that's the tab you have
What?
right there. So the pimp down story.
Here we go, pimp down.
So you pimp down.
So here's a tab.
So January 26, 2008. So we're out. We did about 2 days of firefights. And we end up in this village probably like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
We meet the elders at the front. They said, hey, we'll be right back. Next thing you know, you see the women and kids leaving. You know, and that's a sign right there.
Sure.
You know, and what I say is something that separates us from other people. If you see that happening, you know, some people are like, man, we need to get out of here too. You know, because that's, you know, something about to go down. And we're just like, well, cool. I guess it's on now, you know, so let's roll in. But yeah, so we're standing there. I'm marking for Cass. My buddy's running the mortar system, so I'm marking with him, and he's shooting. And next thing I know, I look over and I was like, okay, cool. I got another target, 70 meters, and it was a guy in the tree line with a machine gun, and he sprayed us. And all 4 of us was standing next to each other like a bunch of doofus, but it was cold, you know. I had at least 4 layers of clothes on. So he sprays us, and we all like hit the deck. And then all of a sudden, I felt my arm just lock up, and I was like, bam. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, oh, man.
That's not normal.
And I was like, get on the radio, and I'm just like, I think I've been shot. Pimp down, pimp down. And my buddy gets back, and he hears it, and he gets on the radio. He goes, pimp down. We got to pimp down. And so.
Was that your call sign, pimp?
No. It was just, my nickname was, when I had hair and I was young back then, which was 28, 27. It was Pretty Ricky. That was my nickname back then.
Nice.
So yeah, this story goes, we could go down this rabbit hole forever. No. So the funniest thing, and you'll like this part. So my medic is a black guy named Harold.
Wait. A black dude named Harold?
Harold Dahmer, to be exact.
Was it Junior? No,
He likes to say Damer, but I say it's Dahmer.
It's Dahmer.
It's Dahmer. Harold
Watch out, he
Dahmer.
eats dudes.
So he comes running over. He's getting shot at. He comes running over because once I got shot, it seemed like they knew something went down. And so he comes over, and we got to name our missions whatever we want to name him. So this mission was actually named Harold.
Oh, nice.
So it was actually named Harold. So Harold comes down, kneels next to me, and he goes, Rick, what's up, man? I go, what the fuck, Harold? He goes, I know, man. I was like, they should have shot your black ass because this was named after you. And he was like, I know, my bad. He's like, how you feeling? I was like, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna make it. They got me in my paintball arm. And he was like, all right. So he starts to cut everything off, and he's like looking, and his arm's just locked up, and he's like, you good, man? I was like, I'm gonna be good. He's like, okay. So he pulls me next to the Humvee, and then he gets on the radio, and you can hear it. I actually have video of like some of that day in the transmission, and you can hear him on the radio go, "We need to get out of here now." I was like, I thought you said I was gonna make it. And we ended up getting we went to 3 different medevac sites. Finally, there's a video of me actually running onto the helicopter after getting shot, but the bullet went here. You know, I want to be like, because there I was with my gun, and I was just like, bam, 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 bam. No, there I was with my binos, because we were dropping rounds.
Okay.
And so the bullet went here, split here,
whoa,
went in here, and came out the back. And then I took 4 to the chest, you know, which I didn't know. You know, so, but that was it, you know, and I get back to Bastion, walk off the helicopter. They're like, you know, there's like, are you okay? They say you got shot 5 times. I was like, I did. I was high as hell on this morphine lollipop. And I was like, I get in there, and the nurses are like, does it hurt? I was like, it doesn't hurt. And they touched inside there, and I passed out.
Sure.
Yep, there it is.
1 bullet, 5 holes.
1 bullet, 5 holes. I went home, got home February 3rd, 2008, which was the day the Giants won the Super Bowl in 2008. Certain things you remember.
Yeah.
And I stayed home for about a month and a half, and then I went back.
They beat the Patriots, I believe, didn't they?
Did they beat the Patriots?
I think so. That was the magic catch with the whatever. We don't talk about that in my house.
But then I went back a month and a half later, you know, and wanted to be with my team.
Yeah.
Wanted to be with the guys who was there for me, who saved me, and, you know, and going back, you know, they were just like, no, just stay here, wait for your team. And I was like, no, I want to go back to my team. My team sergeant earlier that year was he was SF, CAG, got shot in the throat.
Oof.
And went to our team to do some time, and we had a sister team coming out to us, and they got ambushed, and we couldn't do nothing. We heard it all on the radios. We were talking about Humvees, 50 cals burnt down. That was the ambush that we're in, and they wouldn't let us go, and something triggered in my team sergeant, and he lost it. So 2 days of him, you know, just something was wrong, so we had to relieve him. And I believe because, you know, when he got shot, you know, and getting shot in the throat's a big thing, but
it's a huge thing.
It's you know, it's one of those things where I was like, you know, I need to get back on this bicycle. I'm not waiting for these guys to come back.
Sure.
You know, so I kind of left without permission, but I made it to Afghanistan in 3 days.
Wow.
You know, my team back there, and that was it. And I think that helped, but in a way, as we talk about more about the future, it didn't help. Because I didn't take time to actually let my body heal, like myself mentally heal. And so when I came back, that's when I started having all these issues, partying, drinking, thinking I was untouchable. Because nobody really wants to talk to the guy or say anything to the guy that just got shot 5 times and went back a month and a half later. You know?
Yeah.
You know, so you could be that rock star for now, you know, that's like, so it was one of those things where it's like, oh, you drink, you got in trouble? Okay, cool. You know, just go home, sleep it off, you know. And eventually it caught on to me. So, you know, eventually it was 2 DUIs back to back. And finally they were like, you know what, we can't with you. And what they did was basically kicked me out.
Yeah.
They actually took my SF tab away, reduced me to E1, and said goodbye. They didn't want to deal with me. And, you know, that was the problem back then. You know, rather than saying, hey, he has a problem.
Yeah,
he has an alcohol problem.
Yeah.
And let's look at what was the cause of that, you know, being shot, you know, looking at what, you know, units he served and what he did, how many combat tours he had. And they weren't doing that. They would just say, bye, you know, have a great day. And what I did, you know, there was people getting out at the same time, and they were all salty with the Army. So we all hung out together, and you don't want a bunch of salty people hanging out together. Rangers, SF, you know, matter 82nd Airborne, because we're just going to wreck shop, you know, and that's what we did. You know, between me and my friends, it was drinking, getting in trouble, being locked up, you know, and just, you know, all types of stuff where we're just like, holy crap, you know. But 3 years of that lifestyle just going down. I lost, you know, connections with my, you know, ex-wife, my kids, my daughters and stuff like that, and my family, just because of that and how they just, hey, that doesn't look good for us. Let's get rid of it, and just threw us to the side, basically. You know, I believe you make your bed, you sleep in it, but at the same time, I believe, and the Army's starting to do a lot better, the military itself, starting to say, hey, let's take a look at why is this guy acting up this way?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because, you know, we like to blame. We like to blame. And you know, you look at alcohol abuse, look at drug abuse, you look at whatever it is that is your self-medication, and we say, oh, that person, that's their problem, that's their weakness. And it's not. Your decisions at that point, when you're talking physiologically at the level of the brain, are no longer your decisions. Those decisions are something that's preordained because your body is reacting the way it's going to react. And yeah, it's a shame that we do stuff like that. I work closely with Andrew Marr. He was a former SF guy, and he had the same story. Your story's not unique, which is the crazy thing, right? Your story's not unique in that, not to belittle your story, but I mean people that come out and they self-medicate and they find themselves in trouble, and then it's not until they address the issue at its core where things suddenly get better. And it's hard to find that. So what do? You take someone who drinks too much and you reprimand them and you kick them out of the military, and that doesn't accomplish anything. That
You're
leads,
still somebody who drinks
leads
too
to
much.
22 a day, right?
Yep.
But you look at, why did this happen? Why is this person making these decisions? What's going on with their brain? And you actually fix it. Then you get these numbers drop, and people tend to not only thrive. I mean, you ended up thriving. You're an underwater welder. Is that right? Yeah. So,
Yep.
I mean, you can't be a fuck up, you know, drinking and sitting in the gutter all day long if you're going to do a job like that. So what was it how did you turn the corner, and when did you kind of get everything squared away?
So like I said, about 3 years of that. But when I got out, I actually met a good friend, and we became friends. He's an artillery guy, and, you know, hilarious guy. He ended up moving away, went back to Seattle to be closer to his family, and he became a commercial diver, underwater welder. So about a year and a half after that, and I was going through all my stuff. I was, you know, I was on house arrest. I was waiting trial for stuff, you know, and he committed suicide during that time. And I got the news, and I was like, that's where I said, I need to do something. I need to fix myself, because I'm so busy fucking up my own life. I'm not really concerned about those that I actually say I care about.
Yeah.
He was my best friend. If you consider someone your best friend, you should be there for them. I wasn't there for him because I was too busy screwing up my own life, you know, just running amok. So I said, hey, I'm going to get myself out of trouble, you know, and I'm going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I created was the sign dedication.
Yeah.
You know, so the sign dedication was
That's
created that year also. And basically it was to honor and remember those that we have lost. Right, you know, you just have a Purple Heart sign out there that says Reserve Purple Heart.
Right.
You know, we individualize these signs, so we honor those. We put a rank, name, date of birth, date of departure, gold plate on it. You know, because we all know you put a gold plate on something, it means it. It means a lot to people.
Yep, sure.
And in the middle is the American flag. Center of that is whatever unit or organization they were part of. But what makes the sign so unique is the QR code. So we put a QR code on the top left. So when you scan that QR code, it brings up the bio and the picture of the person that's on the sign.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So this is going to be our 85th sign.
Can you hold that up to the camera?
Yeah, bring
I
it
want
up,
to see
man.
that. Yeah. Do you want to help him with it while he talks on the mic?
Yeah. So this will be our 85th sign for Joshua Watson, who was killed in 2016 in Pensacola. So, you know, he was there. It was a terrorist attack.
Right.
So he actually was awarded the Purple Heart.
As he should have been.
You know, so I'm actually headed down to Alabama. I've teamed up with my buddy Joe, who's a 7th Group SF guy who's a wingman. So you ever heard of Wingman Motorcycle Club?
Yeah.
So he led this initiative to honor Joshua. He reached out to me because he's seen my ceremonies and what I've done. And he said, hey, Rick, we want you down here to come do this. So I'm headed to Alabama Wednesday to do final preparation. And Saturday we'll be honoring him along with his, you know, family members.
Yeah.
So this is, and we have, like I said, we have 84 signs now from all the way from North Carolina, Florida, Texas, and Seattle. So
That's
you
awesome.
know, but like I said, this one will be in Alabama, Enterprise, Alabama this weekend.
This stuff is important. There's always a debate, and I equate that to the POW MIA, KIA bracelets that people wear, and some say no. Like, there's arguments about wearing them and not wearing them, and I get that. But to me, so the reason why I wear mine is the 4 people on there. I want someone to ask. I want someone to say, "What is that you're wearing?" Oh, let me tell you about what's that.
You're frozen.
I am. God bless America. I can switch
Amen.
cameras. I can switch cameras. Well, do you know what? That's a damn good shot of me. So maybe I'll just go with that.
Screenshot.
How do I switch? Watch this. I'm going to switch cameras. I'm going to go like this. Camera 1. Oh, no, I can't.
What was that movie?
Jeremy, it's not letting me switch
camera 2.
cameras.
Camera 1, camera 2.
Austin Powers.
Thank you.
How do I turn it off and turn it back
Yes, turn
on?
it off, turn it back on.
How do I do that? Let me
Hit
try
stop
this.
cam and then start cam.
Wait, hold on. I just switched. Now you might
Oh.
see something weird.
Nothing on.
Now you're back.
We're back.
So we're back.
Oh.
I just don't have a camera.
Me and him will host the show.
Yeah, I
we
don't
got
give a
this.
shit.
Yeah, we
Well,
got
who
this.
cares
We
if
got
people
this.
can't see me?
Am I darker than you, or are you darker than me?
I'm pretty
Okay,
sure I'm
so
darker than you.
hey, look,
Little
I'm
black
back. Hey, everyone.
Man, it's
Welcome-
almost like Jeremy, the producer's, done his job right.
Welcome.
Oh,
that
yeah,
hey,
that's what
Jeremy
it
just
was,
earned
yeah.
he just earned his keep. Welcome to the 21 Gun Podcast. I'm your host, Ken. So the what I was basically saying is the conversation. I think these things are important. I think it's because what's the trade off, right? I don't wear this bracelet. Someone doesn't ask me about it, and I don't talk about my buddy Ryan DeVee, Charlie Owens. I don't talk about these people. Now their names don't come up, and so things like that. That sign is just an incredible way for someone to look and say, hey, let's keep these people's memory. I think that's freaking awesome. Where did you come up with that idea?
So we originally, like I said, we came up with a sign. I came up with a sign. Actually, I go to, believe it or not, I go to the gym. But, and one day the gym was so packed that I had to park all the way at the end. So I got into the gym and I reached out. I talked to my buddy Ken, who GMs the gym. I said, hey, you know what you need to do? You need to put a Purple Heart sign right there in the front,
Right at the
so I can park, because I had to park all the way at the end, and I don't do cardio. And he was like, sounds like a great idea, Rick.
That's fair.
And I was like, okay. He was like, yeah, get it done. I want 2, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
I was like, oh, okay. So I reached out to the local chapter, bought 2 signs, had the signs, and sat on the sign for about 2-3 days, and then it sapped to me, and I said, hey, I should, instead of putting a sign up, we should add a name to the sign.
Right.
And I, reached out to my friends, and they were like, yeah, sounds great. So, we did our first ceremony was actually consisted of 7 signs. 5 actually went up in these businesses, and they didn't have the QR codes. So as we're putting these signs up, 2 at the True Fit gym, 1 at Kickback Jacks, 1 at Hooters, 1 at the Club Aqua there, and then 2 out in Spring Lake area. We were looking at the signs like, man, I wish there was a way, people could actually, besides just looking up the name, because sometimes you can't even see the name because it's sitting up. And, we're like, hey, that'd be a good idea. So we talked about like microchips, different type of things. We were just brainstorming in our heads. Of course, because we were at Hooters and we were drinking, and we're like, this sounds like a great idea. So this was back in 2015, and I went to Fast Signs, and I was trying to get a customized plate made for something. And I saw the QR code, damn, I wish I invented the
Bing.
QR code.
Yeah.
I wish I would have invested in it back then. And I was like, what does that do? And she was like, well, it's kind of like the new barcode. You scan it and it'll bring up information and links and stuff. I was like, really? How do you do that? It's like, well, you can attach anything to it. You just go to your app store, get a QR code generator, and attach what you want to it. A picture. I was like, really? That simple? And she was like, yeah. So then I went home, looked it up, pulled it up, did a couple test runs, had a QR code on my phone, and I'd like tell my friends to download the app, and I was like, hey, scan this. Let's see if it works. And they scan it and it come up. It goes, eat a dick. And I was like, oh, shit, it works. I was like, all right. and that's how it came about. I took down the original 7 signs. We added QR codes on them. And then we just started adding QR code. And we have a website that it's Paladin.
Yeah, I just actually pulled it up. If you go over to rgrrick.com, if you can pull that, I think I put the link on the notes, Jeremy. You can see it, and if you hit like the dedication registry, that brings you to Paladin intellects.com. And actually, what's funny is I just saw Bobby Henline. He's down there. He's down in your parts.
Yeah,
he's actually going to come on the show. I met him up in Burbiz. Have you been up to Burbiz? Good times.
No, I haven't. Me and Bobby was my guest speaker for my third year of my suicide awareness run. We've worked together on a couple different projects and stuff.
Awesome dude. Super nice
great.
dude.
So great. He usually comes out. His organization's Forging Forward. So basically, they have dog tags.
Mm-hmm.
So as a part of our suicide awareness run ceremony, Bobby comes out and he does an oath keeper of the dog tags.
Nice.
So basically, those that passed away from suicide are on these dog tags.
Okay.
We bring up 5 veterans. He hands them out and he does an oath, and then those veterans keep those dog tags. So Bobby's a great dude, awesome dude.
He is. You want to talk about irreverent humor? He's obviously he had I don't know his story, but he has 3rd-degree burns from pretty much head to toe.
Yep.
And he's a comedian, and his comedy is well done comedy or something like that. I'm like, man,
well done. Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yes.
Super nice dude.
He's been on Netflix. He played a character where he's the fire expert.
Oh, seriously?
That's the best.
Yes. He's the fire expert on there. They're like, you're the fire expert? He's like, I am.
It's like Crispy. What's Crispy's last name? Alvera Crispy, the guy who hangs out with the same thing. I mean, he nicknames himself Crispy. I think what we're all asking and what people want to know here, since you were with the regiment, what's Matt Best like?
God damn.
Don't get me started.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Do you know what's weird though about Rangers and about Green Berets and stuff?
They're all dicks.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
He's right here. No. Like, what has 2 thumbs and operates? Navy SEALs. You don't really hear much about Green Berets. You guys are actually some of the quiet professionals.
Silent professionals.
Yeah, silent professionals.
Until we get out.
Yeah, but even that, I don't know many.
They were not so silent.
We show up in camo pants and cowboy boots and a shirt that says "Free the Oppressed."
Molan Labe or whatever. That's funny. We call that brovet. It's okay. They earn the term brovet. Where can people find out about the 2.22 mile run, the 22 push-up challenge? Same thing at that site?
It's not 22 push-up challenge, but it's actually the 2.2 mile suicide awareness run was created May 1st in honor of Barry Barker. And like I said, you see the vest over there.
Right.
6 years ago, all
Jeremy,
it had...
Jeremy, you're not busy. Can you grab that vest and hold it
wow.
up to the camera?
Only name it had was his name on there. And here we are years later. We've added more names, and those people on there I've known personally. Yeah. Personal interaction with these guys and girls on there, like I said.
Careful, Kevin, this might be heavy for you.
It is. I would stay back here. I'm on the juice. Come on. Whoa, it is heavy. Jeremy just blew his back out.
I caught my finger with it. He's like, you come too. You come to the couch as well.
But yeah, so Barry Barker was the first person. Like I said, he's the one that, committed suicide. Kind of, I said, hey, I need to fix myself. Grant Shanneman was a Ranger Regiment guy. He was known as Shanimal. He ran RIP. Garrett Briggs, very good friends of mine, Ranger Regiment guy. His story, is just one to tell.
Yeah.
Of social media, your fellow brothers, believe it or not, your fellow Ranger brothers, like people. He got in trouble, he got out, he went to the 82nd, he got in trouble again there, and it's one of those things where similar story, like you said, and he was thrown to the side, and and that's it.
These are warning signs. Briggs, people don't understand that. Yeah.
Briggs called me. He was drinking. I tried to talk to him. I tried to get out the door of the restaurant so I could hear him. And he hung up the phone, called his dad, and then shot himself in his driveway.
Yeah.
His daughter was 3 weeks old. I've been in his daughter's life ever since then. She's 3 years old now. His wife, Miranda Briggs, she started her own foundation in honor of him, so called Fight the War Within. So that's another thing that people want to look at.
Yeah.
Josh Burnett, amputee 7th Group guy. Tim Hankins, Master Sergeant, 18 years in the Army. Daniela Vega, retired out the Army, female. Hung out with us that night, went home and just killed herself.
Yeah.
Drogos was a Lance Corporal. His wife does her Faces of the Fallen, basically, during our 2.2-mile run. We have pictures up of those that we've lost to suicide. And then Captain Murga just recently passed away. We just did a dedication for him. And we actually just hosted a suicide awareness swim in honor of him.
Awesome.
So these are just, and this body armor is what I wear during my 2.2-mile run. And that's how we honor them, showing that we keep our brothers and our sisters with us at all times, no matter if they're gone or,
Sure.
or what, however, so. But
yeah.
as far as the run, rangerrick.com, our organization is called Through Tragedy Comes Light.
Okay.
Basically, the tragic death of Barry, helped me see the light that I need to fix myself and do more. And that's where it's at. So May 21st will be our next run in Rayford, North Carolina.
I'm doing it.
Yep.
Rayford, I'm doing it. May 26th?
May 21st.
21st.
May
Oh,
21st.
enough time for you to plan and actually show up to something.
I'm going to do it. Shut up. I show up once a week here to tell your stories.
The night before we do a meet and greet, we actually had Gary Brugman from his show come up from Texas, and they set up their podcast up there. So
Awesome.
we'd love to have you guys as our podcast guests for that night
Yeah,
before. Yeah. And
I got nothing planned.
Yeah, and and like I was telling you guys with the T-shirts I gave you guys. So the Man 22 Suicide Awareness T-shirt. This is our logo. So Man 22 Suicide Awareness. It's done by Cracking Skulls, Shad Sound Art. Like I said, and then on the back we have our logo right there at the top, and then we have all these sponsors who sponsor our event. Some of them are, multi-year sponsors, no questions asked. And what makes the shirt unique is the Velcro on the side.
Yeah, that's
like
cool.
I said, when you say run scares people. When you say run with body armor, scares them even more.
Yeah.
So, but they want to honor them. So we put the Velcro so you can wear the name tape of those that passed away that on the shirt and do the run. This year we actually went with red to go with the Red Friday theme. So we've got green, black, red, and next year will be a light blue. So
Awesome.
But yeah.
That's incredible, man. It's a good story, and it kind of highlights the idea that we look at suicide as a two-dimensional thing. Person was depressed, they killed themselves. It's not. It's way more complicated. If it was two-dimensional, the people that were killing themselves wouldn't be such high performers, right? They're always high performers. They're people that we talk about who are the life of the party, the people in the room. They light up the room and stuff, and then this happens, and it's so complicated. And then it's like, which makes it even harder to treat, because what do you do? I mean, obviously putting someone on psychoactive, SSRIs, SNRIs, sleep medications, whatever the VA throws at you doesn't work. But things like this, I honestly believe do, because it's you go to that run, you meet somebody, you go to a Silkies hike, you listen to the podcast, you meet someone, you talk to someone, you say, hey, maybe there's another avenue, maybe there's something else out there.
This year's run, two things to take away from this year's run was, one, we had 19 Gold Star, 22 a day Gold Star families come in. And so the money we raise from the T-shirts, from the sponsors, from different things, goes towards their travel, their hotel, their food. So we organize all that for them. And these 19 families came, and they had the best time, that they could have.
Yeah.
Knowing that their loved ones' memories are not forgotten. And I say, hey, I could take 19 of my friends to a bar and pay the entire bar tab, and one of these mofos will complain. But to have 19 families come in and just have nothing but good things to say, that's a takeaway from that.
Yeah.
Along with that, 5 people that were at the run seeked help. So we had 20 organizations come out, and nonprofit organizations, some businesses come out, but they come and they set up these booths, give information and stuff like that. And that's what we try to draw the people in, so they can come and get those resources and walk around. So after the run also, we had 3 people seek therapy. So they went out and sought therapy. One person went to a in-house treatment program down in Florida, and another one was more proactive in the community.
That's what it's all about.
We say that's the biggest takeaway. Because
Yeah.
when we talk about the run, we say, hey, if I can save one life,
Sure.
then that's a great thing, and being with those 5 people, I feel like we possibly saved 5 lives right there.
Yeah.
Who else do we know that we didn't save that didn't come forward, but say, hey, let these events, let the things that you guys do, that we do, trigger someone else to say, hey, how can I do that here? How can I, get that type of support here? Some messages that have come to me throughout the last, week or so, people say, hey, I was suicidal today till I saw your posts, or I saw what you're doing, and I realized, hey, I could continue to move on. And those are things where I'm like humble, where it's not just me, it's my friends. I screenshot it, I erase their names, and I send it out to my friends that support me and help me make the run, help me make these things. And I send it to them and I say, you see what you guys do? This is what you guys do, and this is how we operate as a family, and this is a result of it.
Yeah.
We're saving lives, we're helping others, we wish we could have been there for these guys, but we're trying,
Yeah,
we're
that's all
trying.
you can do.
I can't, it sounds bad, but better late than never, but you know what?
Yeah.
We didn't know about all the issues until it was too late. So now all we can do is address and try to help each other, let each other know we're there. And we're still going to continue to go through problems, issues, Life is not a fairy tale. It is not a fairy tale. We are still going through issues. You are, I am, he is, and it affects us, we were having a conversation last night at the bar, and we're sitting around, and one guy, he's going through some stuff, and he's like, well, I want to come out and help you, Rick. I want to come out and help you with what you're doing. I was like, well, you got to do me a favor first. Help yourself. Fix yourself.
Yep.
Help yourself. How can we, the programs we do, help you right now? Because in order for you to help other people, you got to help yourself.
Yep.
You got to build that. And I talk about, what we do here. You build a foundation at home, create a solid foundation, and then we can branch out and start to help people in and around different communities.
Yeah, because
take care of home.
People can self-medicate with anything, right? Let's say I'm going to dedicate my time to doing a podcast so I don't have to, you know what I mean? But still, if I'm not addressing my shit and I'm just seeing like, I'm going to work on this, it catches up. It catches up.
Yeah.
CPT.
Yep.
Cognitive
Processing therapy.
Check
Yeah.
it out.
I thought he meant color people.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
I was like, man, that's
I was like,
pretty
hold on.
brave.
Can you imagine?
We
Like,
just
I'm right
changed
here,
that
like-
subject right there. I was
but-
on time.
But real quick, Marissa Hamlin says it's the smallest gestures that have the largest impact. Just knowing that someone cares.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she said Rick and Chad just held a meeting with a collective of veteran support organizations so we can all come together and support one another's mission, which ultimately is the same mission, giving back to the veteran community.
Yeah. So what we decided to do was come up with a community calendar. So many of us are trying to do the same thing, and we're trying to accomplish the same thing, especially when these November, December comes around, Thanksgiving, Christmas, put that in perspective. People want to feed people want to give gifts. So if we're out there trying to do it individually rather than come together, we can make a more better impact coming together.
Yep.
And we can deconflict these events, where you
That's
guys are
actually a good idea.
having your walk same day as I have my run. I'm like, whoa, let's deconflict that, because they're both different, therapeutic in their own
Right.
ways.
Sure.
But we get this calendar together, and we can come together and close those gaps in that net, which will reduce the amount of things that slip through that. And that's what the community calendar is about. Why are we having 3 events in one day, and we're trying to get people to come out of all 3, making people choose? And if you're trying to do a fundraiser, by the time they get to you, their pockets are empty because there's given away. There's events. One of the points I made, there's events that can be done on a Sunday.
Sure. why
You know,
not?
you'll have the same effect or even more, because you're not competing with 2 other events that are trying to do the same thing or have the same mission. Only thing you're competing with on Sunday is God, Waffle House. But you just that's what we try to do.
Is that a site people can go to? Or?
So the calendar just got made this week. So it's going to be basically it's a Google calendar controlled by Sharon Davis, which is ran by Dr. Brown. She's a representative for the veterans at Verizon. So she'll be another person that we'll be working close with, but she'll be running the calendar. Calendar allows people to they'll give their information to Sharon. Sharon will push it up. We'll separate annual events. The biggest thing I wanted to do was annual events. Annual events is something that's on our calendar that we've done for years. So let's separate those.
Yeah.
And then fundraisers. Let's look at how we can support each other in these fundraisers. Pop-up events like charity stuff. Somebody gets into a car accident. Let's look at that and how we can deconflict that without putting that on the same date as a fundraiser or annual event, and how we can support each other. And that's where that. So the link for the calendar will come out this week once we finalize everything, and just coming together. And I believe the Fayetteville Woodpeckers, which is the baseball team, they had a similar idea. And now they came out to my meeting and they said, hey, we want to team up and incorporate it and kind of build off of what we're doing. So I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. We'll still keep our calendar, but we'll add it to yours. You know, they have way more money and a lot more technical people than we do. So by all means, you know, let's do it. You know, let's team up. Together, we're stronger. That's the Hick Strong motto, is together we're stronger. And I really believe in that. You know, we can get together and accomplish the same thing, you know, and just help make things happen.
Ben Franklin was a wise man. Remember, he took the sticks, he broke them individually, and then he put them as a group, and he couldn't break them. I remember learning that as a kid, and I was like, damn, that's a good lesson. Awesome. So Ranger Rick, RJ, you know what's funny? I was like, so I know Rick's real name. Believe it or not, Ranger Rick isn't his real name. And I go, hey, man.
No shit.
I go, hey, man, how do I spell your name? And he writes RANGERRICK. And I'm like, okay, I'll go with it. But yeah, Ranger Rick, man, it was awesome having you on the show. RGRRICK.com. Yeah, I mean, I go there. You'll just find everything. You're doing lots of good work. I'm glad that you turn things around, and you know, you're just another example. And I tell people, and I always have to catch myself, because one of the hardest things for me. Am I really going to tear up? I'm not going to do that.
Kevin's going to cry. Yeah, I heard it. He started. You hear that? It's like,
no, I don't do that. I don't even know if I can talk about it.
Do it.
No, I got a sensitive spot. Holy shit.
Is that where the chocolate star? I mean,
No. All right. So one of my biggest things is, or one of the things that I have to work through, obviously, is, you know, I go on hikes, I meet guys. The hardest mission I ever had to do, and we did so many of them, too many of them, was flying.
You say you go on hikes to meet guys?
That's what I heard.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for breaking the tension.
I was holding back, but I'm glad you said
waiting.
Guys
for
and
someone to catch
gals.
that.
You meet guys and gals. And anyways, I go on those hikes and I meet guys and gals that. So the hardest mission I ever had to do, we called angel missions. You fly bodies out of Iraq, Afghanistan, at any time, right? You go, it doesn't matter. You're tired, whatever. You're going to go and you're going to start those folks on their way home. And you see them, and you see the boxes, and you've seen the metal boxes with the flags on it, and they're just silent, and they're sitting there. And then I go out and I talk with people on hikes, and I'm like, you know, here's someone that didn't happen to, you know what I mean? And those boxes suddenly have names and faces, even though they're not the ones, but that's the way my brain looks at it, is like, this is someone that could have been in that box. And then, you tell your story and the stories of everyone around you, and you start thinking about, you know, it's like, here you are talking with us, doing all the things that you're doing, and I'm glad you're here to do that. You know, I'm glad that you faced your demons and you're here. And there's so many people out there that could be in your position, right? That could be going down the wrong path and are actually, you know, putting the rubber to the road and actually getting stuff done and facing their own demons. And that's all. That's all I want to say.
It's better to talk to you than talk about you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's one of the things.
And
it's better for them to be here.
I'll have you know, Jeremy can attest to this. I've never shown emotion in the 3 years I've known him.
He is not.
No.
No, I'm a robot.
About 8 months ago, you had one moment of like, you started to talk. I think it was the first time when we had our interview with you about you. You started to talk about it for a brief moment, but we kind of grazed right past it. But you never really showed it. But
I'm a human. Anyways, though,
I cried too. It's okay.
But no, I appreciate it, and you know, that's how I look at it. The people you meet. You know, be here, be present. Yep. And I get it. You know, I don't blame anyone for killing themselves. I don't. I can't put myself in that position. I don't understand what they're going through. But it's a medical, as far as I'm concerned, it's a medical emergency. The brain has got to the point where there's no other decision at that point. Yep. And
it shuts down. And, you know, like I said, I took 2 weeks off probably about 2 weeks ago. I took 2 weeks off, basically say, hey, Sharon, you'll handle everything. Do a post for me on Facebook. You'll handle everything. And it was kind of like Rick's going on vacation, which I didn't go on vacation. It was a staycation.
Yeah.
But it was different because she was handling all the calls and all the stuff. And after 4 days, I'm like, wow, nobody really likes me because nobody's calling me. But it kind of felt good. And I was like, wow, okay, cool. My mind got a little bit freer and allowed me to say, okay, cool. I know starting Monday, like we're ramped up. We're ramped up Monday. But those 2 weeks separating myself from social media and just kind of, the whole planning process or taking care of dates and stuff like that was actually a good relief. Sure. And I believe people need to do that for themselves sometimes. Yeah. Just take
I do it
break.
often.
Yeah.
Jeremy just checks out.
Not of my own volition.
Sometimes it's on Sunday night at 8 p.m.
30-day Facebook bans will do that for you.
Oh yeah.
I'm on. Well, I'm not on. Last one was number 5. 30-day bans.
So far, I've spent 90 days in Facebook jail this year.
Good for
it's
you.
It's okay because you know what? I always tell people, I was like, I'd rather spend those 90 days in Facebook jail than real jail. My life is turning around.
That's true.
Damn, if I get offended again, I'm in 180 days. Shit, I better knock it off.
Well, to end this show and to break the tension of my showing human emotion, I'm going to show you a video. This will make Jeremy cry.
Oh, no.
This is how we'll end
Is it crayons?
No, this is a dad having a conversation with his daughter.
You motherfucker.
No, I want you guys to strap in.
Uh-oh.
Here it comes.
Strap on?
Strap on. Here it comes.
Boy. What?
You guys thought I was going to get real serious. I saw this. I loved it.
It's puppers.
That's pretty much it. I'll pull it down. So call, text, write, email, do whatever. Get off your ass, walk outside, knock on your neighbor's, maybe not now, it's late, but knock on your neighbor's door. He knows a veteran, which we do all the time, man. We got veterans all over the place and say, hey, come out, hang out, do whatever. That's what we do. Convince someone to come on a hike. Convince your mom to come on a hike if she's a veteran. Even if she's not, she can volunteer. So yeah, that's all. That's the mission.
Fucking Marissa.
What'd she say?
She put in the chat, in the arms of an
angel.
angel.
God, what's her name?
Marissa Hamlin.
Marissa.
No. I was thinking who sang that. Remember God, I hate those commercials. I'm like, you're not going to show me.
Oh, the puppy.
Oh, and they're shaking.
It seems like that's the longest commercial ever.
It's like turn it off.
It's so depressing. Oh my gosh.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, 21gun.net, spelled out 21gun.net, rgrrick.com, irreverentwarriors.com, and we will see you next week. Good night.